Sexual reproduction involves the transfer of DNA from one organism to another. The resulting offspring have some genetic material from each parent and may even have some of their own unique traits. Sexual reproduction creates genetic variety within a species. More variation gives a species a better chance of surviving a variety of environmental conditions. Those individuals that have beneficial traits survive to reproduce and pass their adaptations on to the next generation. A variety of organisms can perform sexual reproduction. Even bacteria can participate in a form of sexual reproduction called conjugation. During conjugation, one bacterial cell transfers genetic material to another through a thin tube called a pilus. The donor cell sends circular DNA called a plasmid through the pilus to the recipient cell. After conjugation, the recipient bacterial cell has a new combination of DNA, and genetic variation has been increased. In more complex organisms, sexual reproduction involves the two alternating processes of meiosis and fertilization. Cells alternate between haploid and diploid phases. Remember that haploid cells have only one set of chromosomes, while diploid cells have two sets. Meiosis is a type of cell division that results in cells that have only one set of chromosomes. These cells are called haploid cells. Fertilization, on the other hand, combines two haploid cells to make a diploid cell that has two sets of chromosomes. Because meiosis cuts the chromosome number in half, and fertilization doubles the chromosome number, alternating between these two processes allows an organism to maintain the proper chromosome number from generation to generation. Some organisms, like we humans, spend the majority of our lives in the diploid phase. Each cell in our bodies has two sets of chromosomes, one from our mother and one from our father. In the diploid life cycle, a diploid cell in the ovaries or testes undergoes meiosis to form haploid gametes, either egg or sperm. Two haploid gametes fuse during fertilization to restore the diploid chromosome number in the zygote. The zygote undergoes mitotic cell divisions to create a new multicellular organism that is diploid. Note that haploid cells occupy only a small portion of the diploid life cycle. The only cells in the haploid portion of the cycle are the gametes. Simpler organisms, like certain protists and fungi, experience a haploid or monoploid life cycle. These organisms spend the majority of their lives as a haploid cell or group of cells containing only one set of chromosomes. Haploid gametes are formed by mitosis, not meiosis, since the cells already have only one set of chromosomes. During fertilization, two gametes fuse to form a diploid zygote. The zygote is the only diploid cell in the haploid life cycle. When the zygote undergoes meiosis, the chromosome number is halved, and the new haploid organisms have the same amount of genetic material as their parents, although perhaps a new combination of genetic traits. While some organisms exhibit the diploid life cycle, and others exhibit the haploid life cycle, many plants and algae species have a life cycle that alternates between haploid and diploid phases. The diploid phase is called the sporophyte generation. Since it is diploid, its cells each contain two sets of chromosomes. The sporophyte generation produces spores by meiosis. Since meiosis cuts the chromosome number in half, the spores are haploid cells. Spores are capable of performing mitosis in order to grow into an adult organism called the gametophyte generation. Because the growth occurred through mitosis, the gametophyte generation is haploid, just like the spores. The gametophyte generation produces gametes, like egg and sperm, by mitosis. When the gametes fuse during fertilization, they form a diploid zygote that will grow into a new sporophyte generation. You can see how the life cycle continues alternating between sporophyte and gametophyte generations. Since the sporophyte and gametophyte generations take turns giving rise to each other, this cycle is called alternation of generations.